Okay, Miller?
Yeah?
Take a picture. It'll last longer.
Sorry. You're just... not what I was expecting. I'm Jamie. From Canada.
I'm sorry, I'm not gonna shake your hand because I'm not 45 and a man.
Come over after school and you can set up for the party while I do my hair.
Okay.
You know, where I'm from, birthday parties are considered so lame. Like, I don't know, maybe you should cancel it.
Maybe you should fuck off and die.
Jesus, Mom. Mamacita. Ay. Ay, ay, ay. Mamacita.
Oh. ¿Hablas español? Está bien. Vete a la mire, more.
3 years of Spanish, bitch.
It's a clip from Linda Vanderklok's favorite movie, Totally Killer.
I took 8 years of Spanish.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
took the same Spanish 8 times.
Yeah, it still counts.
I don't think I could swear. Because she said fuck off and die in Spanish, I think. And
She says she doesn't speak Spanish, but look at her.
It sounds
knows
like she
these
understands
things.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, Pete, I got to give you your introduction, or I
Yep,
know you'll
it's
have
me.
a hissy fit.
It's me, Pete.
Pete's
Thank you.
here. Kitty's back.
Hey there, I'm Farmer Joe.
What is that? What's happening?
What the hell was that?
it was Farmer Joe.
Are you playing games?
Yes, it was.
Well, we can see the commitment and interest people have in coming to talk to us.
Well, we're doing Totally Killer today. But first, correction and apology. Dermot Mulroney is in My Best Friend's Wedding, not Runaway Bride.
It's the same movie.
I thought
That was the tagline.
I genuinely thought it was the same movie.
I still think it is.
Pete, do you want to do your nonsense?
What's my nonsense?
Your knick-knack facts.
Crows. So, Kitty,
So, Pete.
you get a choice now. I don't know if you've been around or I've
Well.
been telling you everything I do.
About 15
Yeah.
years ago, she made a terrible choice.
What was that? What was your terrible choice? What'd you do
I
wrong?
don't know. I'd say it's 20 years ago when you told me it.
Sergeant
or you
Pepper told the
Pete
band to
that
play.
I was a lesbian.
Well, anyway,
Should have stuck
you get
with
a choice.
lesbianism.
I can go. You don't just get Nic Cage like updates anymore. 'cause
I
that's-
listened to the last
Okay,
one.
so you can get something from the NCNN, the good old Nic Cage News Network. You can have a knick-knack fact, or you can do a Cage quiz, hotshot.
Which one's the fastest?
That's what I was going to ask. Which one's the shortest?
That's what she said.
All right.
That's what he said. Pick one.
All right.
Kitty.
Wait, no, which one's the shortest? Legit.
It depends. Not
Do
just
the
like-
quiz.
A quiz?
Yeah.
That's easily the longest one.
I will know because we're just going to say we don't know and then move on. Or just pick something arbitrary as an answer.
Why'd you pick the long ones, Kitty?
Do
All
it.
right.
Go.
All right. So, what do you think? I'm going to let you guys each take a guess. What do you think is the most number of films that Nic Cage has filmed in a year?
6.
24.
All right. I didn't write down the answer. Give me a
Okay,
minute.
that's great.
Yeah. This is why it takes so
It
long,
is
right?
6.
Yeah.
6 is the answer. He had 6 films in the year.
What do
For
I
the
get?
bonus point, who can guess what year that was? That he had 6 films released.
I'm going to guess the 90s. So
2018.
And what do you say?
Sometime in the 90s.
Okay. Well, Brian, you're kind of right. He did it in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2023.
All right.
So, I guess half point there for you.
That's
And,
a sixth of a point.
Do you guys want to know year by year what movies came
no,
out?
Moving on.
No.
All right.
2018 was Mandy. That I know.
Google
That's right.
it.
That's what it was. All right. So that was a Cage quiz.
Good.
Good word.
I don't
Shots.
know that this segment's going to continue.
Is anyone
Oh,
going to allow it?
I have pages for that segment.
Okay, viewers, weigh in.
Yeah.
Do we
give
need
us a
to
call.
keep doing this?
Brian,
I vote no.
what would you
Okay.
like to pick?
No, moving on.
Oh, no, we gotta do
let's
another
cover
one?
this movie.
No, everyone gets to do one.
They get to do it.
Oh, yeah. I can't just let Kitty have all the fun.
I'm hungry.
I will take a knick-knack fact.
A knick-knack fact, a popular feature. If you remember from other episodes. Oh no, I need a knick-knack fact.
You can also pick anything else. I don't care.
All right. Knick-knack fact. Did you know that he took his acting name from Luke Cage, the comic book's Power Man?
I did know that.
Did you? I didn't know that.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah, so you didn't know that.
No, but
Now you do. That's a knick-knack fact you got.
gonna forget it immediately.
Luke Cage, Power Man.
Well, that's the power of the knick-knack facts. You can just do the same ones over again because nobody's paying attention.
No, I put a little check mark next to him. So
I might know
I'm
that
not
'cause you've
gonna
done it
do them
before.
again.
All
You're
right.
playing with your phone too.
Because I have my notes on the phone.
Oh, I see. I don't have notes.
And Pete has notes for things that we don't care about. Did you take any notes for this movie? No.
Of course not.
But everybody watched Totally Killer.
We did.
All right, so we're all on the same page to start with. It came out on Amazon Prime on October 6th. It is the Back to the Future version of a slasher movie.
That is true. What are the other... Oh, where'd Kitty go?
And burp.
Oh, how delicate and ladylike.
I didn't think they'd want it in the. Okay, whatever. Go on. 2023. This year. it came out.
2023.
October 26th.
Yeah, October 6th. And it is the Back to the Future version of a slasher movie, following up on Happy Death Day's Groundhog Day slasher movie and Freaky's Freaky Friday slasher movie. And this is coming out on the 8th. On the 10th, It's a Wonderful Knife comes out, which is the It's a Wonderful Life version of a slasher movie, starring Joel McHale and Justin Long.
Oh, we gotta watch that one.
I
Went
watched
and saw
that
it
one.
and reviewed it.
I reviewed it on a website that we never name on this podcast.
There's a website.
Scarevalue.com.
The review is up there. It was good. It was fun. I think every one of these was good. These concepts for some reason work really well. Just throwing slasher movies into other genres.
I never saw Freaky.
I liked Freaky a
Well,
lot.
and I haven't seen It's a Wonderful Knife yet.
That's true. So you're halfway there.
Halfway there.
Good
like
job.
Bon Jovi told us.
I think
Me
that
too.
Happy Death Day was the best of the four. But I think this Totally Killer was the second best of the four. I really liked it. I like Freaky a lot too, so they were kind of the same.
I really like this movie.
I did too.
Yeah,
It was-
fuck,
I don't
fuck
know.
Time travel.
It was
Yeah.
great time travel. That's what I said to Pete when I brought up him watching it for the podcast. I was like, as a slasher movie, it's fine. As a comedy, it's decent. As a time travel movie, it's really good.
It is.
Yeah.
I kept telling him, like, I don't know why. I'm shocked the writers put this much effort into how they were going to craft their time travel story, because they really did. They set up so many things in the first 20 minutes that pay off throughout the movie. But it's never, like, feels like it's being thrown in your face. It's just fun to watch everything get revealed. The hot dad. The
hot dad, the Mollies, with the mom dressing up as Molly
Yep,
Ringwald
yep.
for Halloween.
all those people at the school being complete anarchists.
Oh, yeah.
Every little thing they set up like pays off. I like the little thing in the background too of the poster on the wall of the guy in the band and how his life changes
Oh, yeah,
based on
yeah.
the thing, and how he becomes an emo. The rock star becomes.
I like their explanation for time travel too. It made sense to me. And it was fun.
jump
right?
out of a
Yeah, you
river and you jump
but
another time.
I like
Yeah.
that there's no, the consequences aren't you're fading away out of your picture. Like,
Well, not
a la
necessarily.
Back to the Future. Right. But no, it's things have changed, and you might not have a place in
Yeah.
the new future that you've made.
That is the right time travel. We've talked before about like Back to the Future. They even on this movie say Back to the Future gets it wrong. It doesn't make any sense that you disappear and vanish. It doesn't make any sense. And the movie Looper does it like that, and I hate that. The way I like it was there's a TV show called Continuum where she has to go back in time and prevent this like World War event.
Whatever, yeah.
And then when she gets home, she's succeeded, but she's already there because she never left. So she's out. Like her family carries
Yeah.
on without her, and it's like that makes complete sense to me because you can't change what happens to your personal thing. Your past is the future. Your future
Okay.
is your past. So you can't change any of that. So I like the way this movie did it too, where you get to see both at the same time. So you can see it changes happening and how people are reacting to the changes, and like it's
The Mandela.
the Mandela
Yeah,
effect.
yeah.
It's pretty,
In
pretty
real
clever.
time, like time keeps on going.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't remember it that way, but like I guess that's the Mandela effect. It's brilliant.
And the worst that can do is you will build a place where you'll go back there, but now you're not there. Like there's no family for you. There's no anything.
Yeah, she lucks out a little bit.
She does. Well,
Yeah.
you're supposed to. It's a fun movie. That's
Yeah,
what I
know,
like
know.
about that.
I'm aware. But she still looks out a little bit because she should have gotten home and been like, no, like, because when her parents got together too early, that does have a funny payoff. But I would have liked it too. It's like, yeah, I got bored with her.
Too horny, too soon.
Yep. Pete, do you want to give us a recap of the movie Totally Killer?
Why is it always me who does these recaps?
Because it's hilarious.
All right. So there's a girl who's got a mom named Julie Bowen, and the guy who I saw a lot in the aughts, and I think he was in Dead Man on Campus. He was the dad.
He was
What's
the cop
his
in
name?
Freddy vs. Jason.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I remember seeing him around.
Yeah, he was around back then. So he's the dad, and she's got a friend who's built a time machine.
Right.
And there's a killer.
The time machine being the least interesting aspect of the story to the people in the story.
That's true. It is very just kind of there.
I love it.
So let's see here. Gets killed by Julie Bowen. Goes back in time. The killer
Gets killed by Julie Bowen. Explain that
Explain
sentence.
that.
Go by Julie Bowen.
Okay.
Go back in time. Now it's the 80s, and you see your parents when they're young.
1987.
You guys are staring at me, and it's intense.
I'm always just trying to guess if you've seen the movie or not.
The pressure is real.
It's okay, Pete, because what did I ask you before I came downstairs? I said, what are we recording today? Even though we watched the movie last night. I forgot.
That's true.
So
You
go
did say
ahead,
that.
continue.
It's Max Headroom, right?
Is that what that was?
It was kind of, I was trying to place what the mask was, but it was a Max Headroomy kind of thing. It's the closest I could come to, but not really.
I don't know.
I didn't think there was like a real effort put into what the killer looked like. He looked
Yeah.
kind of goofy.
Yeah, I don't know. I
It
was
was
looking
like
for
Billy
it.
Idol, because it had an earring.
I didn't even notice the earring.
Yeah.
Is it Johnny Bravo, a cartoon?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Johnny Bravo.
But so she goes back in time to try to stop the murders because if she stops the murderer back then, she can save her mom in the future. And then she does.
Her mom's Julie Bowen.
Yeah.
Who died.
Well, we heard her in the clip talking to her young mother, who is nothing like the old mother that she knows.
Right. So you get that comedy, just like Marty McFly's mom was a slut.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it? You're done?
Yeah,
Okay.
keep going.
The movie stars Kiernan Shipka as Jamie and Olivia Holt and Julie Bowen as Pam, their mother. It was directed by, Nanachka Khan, who directed Always Be My Maybe, a movie I really liked on Netflix where
Oh, yeah.
Where-
It's got Randall Park.
Keanu
Oh,
Reeves
yeah.
plays himself.
Is that why Randall Park was in this
That's
movie?
why Randall Park is in this movie.
I loved that one. Because
Yes.
it had Keanu Reeves. You should do Keanu Reeves facts.
He did the first time.
Weren't you listening?
No.
Where have you been?
It has an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it got a 4 out of 5 on ScareValue.com.
What's that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Hey,
go ahead.
IMDb. Do you think that's DB Cooper and he's just laughing at us? And that's what he did with his
It's
money?
been clear all along.
That'll make sense now.
All right, I'm just checking because he says it right there in the name.
I think you're loopy.
Fruit Loopy, baby.
You want all this in.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
This is
Making sure.
gold.
All right. Totally Killer.
Right.
Anybody have any thoughts on Totally Killer?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
That's what we get out of you
As
guys.
Pete would say. No, yeah.
There's
I liked it. It was a good movie. It had a lot going on throughout the entire movie, but they did it really well.
I like the setup. I like how well she gets along with her best friend at the very beginning of the movie. Like
And then-
they established the parents and stuff really well, like all as characters that I was interested in, and you could see the setups happening all in the first part of it.
Yeah, everything's happening, like from, discussing weed gummies, which comes back later, to the mom who's working at a factory because she apparently gave up in high school, and that changes later. So it's pretty neat setup.
My favorite part of the movie is when she brings the DNA to Randall Park in 1987.
That is one of my favorite parts of the movie too. Which
But she randomly forgot that the internet didn't really exist yet.
Yeah, she was more taken aback by what the 80s were like from a social consciousness level
Yes.
than anything else. Things were different back then.
although Kitty went out of her way to look up, because we were talking about that part of the movie last night, she went to look up, like, when was DNA, sequencing used in law enforcement, which happened to be 1987.
Sure, but these small town cops wouldn't know.
Right. That was what Pete said. So.
I, in fact, will posit that I will posit the fact that Randall Park knows about that, but just the type of character he is and the type of sheriff he is.
Well, he was listing how he hates old people, sick people.
Well, if you remember the OJ trial in 94, so the trial was probably 95, one of the reasons he got off, they interviewed one of the jurors, and they said all the defense really had was that DNA evidence, because nobody even understood what the fuck it was. Like, all they had was proof was the reason they let him off. Because they couldn't do a good job explaining that this definitively means it is 100% him.
Yep.
Because that's 95.
Right. That's fair enough. But I'm saying Randall Park, even if it was now, he would still have the same reaction if somebody gave him a bag full of
Probably
DNA.
true.
Yeah, and that trial in 1987, that was a successful trial. So they successfully used DNA to put away someone who killed someone.
But clearly they
So-
still didn't know what it was by
But Randall Park
1995.
didn't know.
Regular people didn't know.
Yeah,
And Randall
And
Park,
Randall
would
Park's a
never
regular
know.
person.
in a small town.
He doesn't know what's going on. He's like, oh, I'll put it in the DNA database.
And he throws
People
it on the
with
floor.
dogs was third on his list of reasons why, or people he hate in general.
I do hate people with dogs.
I
Sorry.
have dogs.
Your dogs are okay.
They're not. One of them's okay. The other one's a monster. Anywho, when she travels back to 1987, they do a thing that I wish all time travel movies did, where the mother, who they set up as the person who created the idea of the time travel machine, that the daughter gets to work, which again, just offhandedly mentions, yeah, that my project of time travel, and it's going to work. The mother's like, she's like, you don't seem surprised by this. And she's like, you don't start messing around with time travel without the idea that this could possibly happen one day. She's prepared for someone from the future to come back and be like, I need your help.
Yeah.
Right. It made a lot of sense.
Yes. And it gave her someone to talk to about what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any of the contrived stuff.
Yeah.
It's obviously logical. Although everyone kind of just accepted it pretty quick. Like her mom
Well,
seemed
no,
to...
she has
No.
to tell her mom that she's a psychic.
Yeah, oh, that
No,
was the
no,
reason
she
why.
didn't. She told her mom that she was after the first murder.
Yeah, I thought the mom
Yeah.
knew.
The mom knew, but then like when she was explaining it to the Tiffany and whatever ones were still alive, she was like, "I'm a psychic."
Yeah.
I like that the young Julie Bone looked at the crystal and examined it intensely. It was like, seems legit.
Yes, yes, yes. The movie gets most of its comedy from the fish out of water, somebody from our sensibilities traveling back to when we were kids and being like, she even says, like, it must be crazy to get on an airplane right now.
Right.
Yeah.
The complete lack of geez.
Security or
Yeah.
care.
My God, there is a lot of security and stuff now, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, like the concept of personal space not being a thing
Oh,
back then.
oh
It's
no,
like
that's made me sad.
uncomfortable or unauthorized touching. No, I'm not okay with that.
I mean, I'm not going to get political about it, but one event happened and we no longer can have shoelaces on our airplanes, but, we can shoot up schools every day and we can't do anything about that. Personal freedoms, right? This is the political podcast. I'm leaving that in. I don't care. I'll leave that in because anybody who doesn't think that way is a complete psychopath.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. I was trying to think of what my next thought was.
Oh,
I
what
didn't
about
have
the
it.
mom at the beginning when she first? I'm just ignoring your political stuff
Kitty's
today.
Kitty's a mega woman.
No,
Ooh, you've made her really mad.
I'm leaving.
Goodbye.
Yeah, fine.
Anyway, Julie Bone at the beginning.
No,
is it when
not
she
Julie
pulled out of
Bowen,
the
the
guns?
mom in the tracksuit when she gets transported back
Oh.
to 87, who's like smoking a cigarette, and it's just like, don't worry, they don't know what that is.
Talking about
for the
Oh, yeah.
cocaine.
Yeah.
I like that the car with the windows rolled up, the station wagon with the windows rolled off and all the smoke in the car.
I like that it's clearly the 80s and they put a bit of that spin on it, but they don't go so over the top that it drowns the movie out, which is a thing that a lot of the 80s movies do. Like, I love Wedding Singer, but it's every frame has to be.
I think that's maybe why I don't like The Wedding Singer so much.
Yeah.
Kitty,
You're
likes
just lame.
I think you're just lame too.
All right, that's fair.
But this movie, it's like, it is, but it's not going to be in your face with every single thing. It has to be that color scheme and that, you get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that when you first, although, hey, when they first go back, I was about to say, when they first go back, I was looking for the differences. The camera was weird. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, when she lands and she's in the
She gets
beaver
out of the photo
place,
booth.
and there's like this weird, like it curved out because it bothered my eyes.
So I don't know if it was like it was like maybe it was like a
I think-
360-degree camera or something that was trying to spin. But if you watch it again, try to pay attention because it was just for a little bit.
Maybe they used like a fisheye lens just to make it
I
seem
think
like it was a
that.
first person
Yeah.
view.
Yeah,
well,
that
it
maybe.
felt like she was reoriented to
Yeah,
being in
maybe
the.
that's what it was.
Yeah, it was just
Past.
it was confusing for me, and I did not like that.
I
part,
liked
but
it that-
it makes sense
It hurt
thematically.
my eyes.
I like that they had their science fair at the old fair just because it would be great when she opened the thing and it was full of life again. There's no other narrative reason for it to be there other than it's going to be cool when we open this up and it's alive again.
Right.
Well, they said it was free.
Yeah, of course. But there's no reason. Lots of things are free. The high school cafeteria is free.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, you want to see that, we're in a different time now, completely. I appreciate a lot the fact, and I wish more of the movies would do it, is it would show me who the adult version is of each character that I'm meeting. It's like, oh, there they are. Oh, they're like, now
yeah.
I know who you are. Because a lot of times, it'll shock you both. I don't know who I'm looking at.
No
when I see
kidding. I'd like, too, that she changes enough. This is why the time travel element's so good. She changes things enough that the order doesn't even go correctly. So now
Right.
she can't predict what's going to happen anymore
Yeah.
pretty quickly. And that's cool. Because it's fun to do it once, but like if I'm always going to know, then they have to do the same joke over and over again, whereas they didn't.
Right.
Although, again, we talked about this. the first person to die is Quinn from Scream 6, and she dies because she doesn't do blowjobs. Mm-hmm. That is the lesson. She says, let's not make that the lesson. That's the lesson I got out of it.
Well, did she, when she's like in the bedroom with that guy, the rock star guy, the emo rock star, and she's
Not
like,
yet,
gotta go
though.
to the bathroom, too many BJs. And he's like, you got room for one more? And she's like, I don't do that.
Yep.
I miss Bartles and James.
I think they still sell them.
I don't think they do.
haven't
think
seen
they're
Bartles
sugar
and James
water.
in a long
They are
time.
sugar water. I don't know what the alcohol content was.
You know who would
but
love that? Edgar.
Edgar
Men in
would
Black.
like his sugar
He'd
water.
love his sugar water.
I got there. It took me a second.
Yeah.
It's like the 5th Edgar reference on this podcast, but it's the first one I did.
What, today?
No, ever.
No, that
Pete
might
likes
be.
talking about Edgar for some reason.
I don't know why.
He was like Edgar soup.
That's right.
So totally killer.
Anyway.
No, it's in 1987, which whenever a movie, not so much time travel because this is new, but a lot of times slasher movies will come out and they'll be like, this one's set in this year because we want to recreate that era. Whenever they do that, I always find what year they pick interesting because there's such a distinct time period of slashers. 87 is a weird one to pick because it's not the peak of slasher movies. It's basically the downfall of slasher movies.
It was the early 80s that had the big run.
Yeah, if you want to get like into that, I just think they probably just did it because the math worked out for how old everybody was. But 87 is not like a hot spot for slasher movies. It's I think that's Dream Warriors, which is the one good one that came out.
Okay.
And I'm going to be really careful not to name too many more things from 1987.
Gotta be a good idea right now.
Well, there was a stack of videotapes. Did you see that at the one
Yeah,
point? And they
Hellraiser
were
was
watching-
87 too. Oh, that's 2. We got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, no, you
Wait,
know a
the
lot of
stack
movies
of
in
video-
87.
No, I
well,
probably
no,
don't.
I was just wondering if you noticed that and saw the titles on there. Because I thought it was inspiration from what the writers were doing now. Like,
Yeah, probably,
these
yeah.
movies
Oh, something.
were the ones that inspired it. They weren't all horror movies
Where
either.
Julie Bowen was a secret sci-fi fan.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, it's because they don't hide it at all. It's a movie that did everything is Back to the Future. Like the slasher aspect is, and the whodunit I thought was actually fine. It was pretty good because I didn't guess.
You know what? I thought I guess like I just had a guess based. I'm like, well, I guess it's going to be the podcast guy. Spoiler alert.
Sure.
And but when they did the reveal of the nerd,
Didn't see it coming.
I sat there dumbfounded.
Me
I'm
too.
like, I didn't.
And he had a good reason. And I was like, huh. And then you find out that like they had been bullying the girl he loved, and she died. And then the mother wasn't a part of that, which I thought was really interesting because she wasn't one of the people. She was never going to die in the beginning. When it really
Right.
twisted the story into it became about what happened in the future. The podcast, so you had this false information to begin with. So she's trying to save something that's not in danger.
Right.
It's very cool. That's a cool use of the time travel aspect.
Well, she would have been in danger, though.
She wouldn't have been in 1987 before
Well, not
she
in
came back.
1987, but
Yeah.
eventually because he ran out of things to podcast about.
Right, but she was never a target. She lived her whole life assuming she was one of the targets,
Oh, okay.
and she was
Yeah,
never
sure.
one of the targets.
Right.
So when you meet Julie Bowen's character, she's like a survivor, final girl who's grown up and had a life, but she's prepared for this because she's always feared it's going to come. It was never going to come.
Right.
It's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, tangentially, it did come.
It did come,
because,
but not for the reason she
not,
thought.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
for the reason she thought.
Yeah. So like the original, like there's 2 plots going on for the killers, but you can't know that, and that's kind of cool. Although they do have Jamie say it could be like Scream. Oh, that's not out yet. 2 killers. Like
Right.
that. Well, there's a movie called Scream where there's 2 killers.
Yeah.
That's why when the second killer appeared at the end of this movie,
Yes,
I
I
was
was-
completely unprepared for it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a different killer.
Which is a good
Yeah.
way to do it. And then he has a great line where she's like, "You killed my mother." It's like twice it appears. It's pretty good.
By the way, I like when the future killer, whoever the podcaster, I can't remember his name, when he just runs by
Yep.
and stabs his father. in the back.
Great. That was great.
God.
When did Terminator come out?
1984.
Okay, I get it. Because Pam is like, are the machines going to kill us?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they all should have seen that, and they all should have seen Back to the Future, although most of them hadn't.
Yeah, and they were proud
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah. Which is weird, 'cause that's a fantastic movie.
Oh, and they were watching RoboCop. So, okay. And that was
RoboCop
one.
came out. I can't tell you when RoboCop came out.
Well, no, that's what they were watching it. And then she said, are the machines going to kill it?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm still fixated on that section of the movie.
Well, that is Terminator's a time travel movie that they wouldn't have seen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like the time, going back to your point about the time travel just being kind of secondary to everything. When she's looking at her cell phone and listening to the recordings of the podcast from the future, the girl says, "Are you from the future?" She's like, "Yep."
Yep.
And there's like, all right.
I have never thought of until right now that Terminator is a time travel movie that came out before Back to the Future, like literally the year before. Back to the Future really stole all that thunder. Because I don't think of Terminator as a time travel movie, but it's 100% a time travel movie.
It is, yes.
I think of it as a time travel movie, but I don't. I think of Back to the Future when I think of time travel
Me too.
movies.
So did this movie. This
Right.
movie is, she's Marty McFly. What was her
Yeah.
name at the end? Claudette?
Colette.
Colette. Yeah.
Colette.
Colette. Yeah, that was a fun little twist when the guy shows up and that's your brother. Here's your notebook of things I wrote down.
Did you notice, when she's at the party and she sees the guy getting out of the water who she doesn't know it's her dad, she's like, who's that? And
Was it the same actor?
yeah, no.
That would have been funny.
What's her face goes, oh no, that's so-and-so. I
Yeah.
can't remember the dad's name. And she's like, that's my dad.
Yep.
Because she was attracted to him.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, when her brother's coming
Yeah, I
up,
thought there
she's
was a
like,
thing there,
who's
too.
that?
I
And
missed
she-
that.
Yeah, the sequel of this is going to get weird.
There's something going on there.
She's like, why does this keep happening?
Yes, that is a good Back to the Future joke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yes.
I didn't catch that. It is a Back to the Future joke.
Yes. And let's see, how did that town ever survive with Randall Park as the sheriff? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, there was no crime at
I
the
assume
time.
he said it. No one's ever been killed here before until you showed up, Canada. That doesn't sound like a real place.
That's true. Well, it is a real place.
I like his detectoring.
The whole movie to me is how much effort they put into the differences between the eras and having a character go back and be like dumbfounded by just the lack of safety and lack of care for your fellow person.
Well, and I think like being 40-ish, we remember when it was like that a little bit. But her being like 16,
Yeah, she'd never seen
she
that.
has no idea.
And it is weird when you think about how different things were in such a short period of time.
Yeah. Rotary phones.
What's the deal with the rotary?
I had a rotary phone for years
I learned how to
did
dial
too.
it. I hated every number that started with 9.
because it took you longer.
Oh my god, it was all
Or
the way at
zero.
the other end of that stupid wheel.
Zero
Only
was
one
at
number
the
started
end, right?
with 0.
It started with 0?
Only
I
one
can't
number
remember.
started with 0. It just took you to the operator.
I used to call the operator from payphones and ask her the area codes for places, just because I
Yeah.
could.
Because you have hoes in those area codes.
No, I just like to learn area codes for different places.
That sounds more accurate.
That's 545.
I used to ask for Kalamazoo, Pennsylvania a lot because it was fun to say.
No. Moving on.
Yeah, that's not okay, man. These people have the jobs to do.
Yeah.
They used to have to transfer your calls back in the day when there was only like 10 phones.
He's got the biggest shit-eating grin right now.
He's gonna do it again.
He's gonna call the operator.
No, I was going to say though, you used to be able to break into phone calls. You could call the operator and go, if you got a busy signal,
Yeah.
you could call and they would break the call and go, I've got the operator here and I've got an emergency call from so and so.
You know too much about old timey telephones.
I don't know what to say, man. Party lines. You ever hung out all
I
of those?
remember that.
I like how we still sometimes have to fax. I've had to fax things.
Just the facts.
Yep, just the fax.
Drag that.
Yep.
Anyway, moving on.
Joe Friday.
My girl Friday.
Is that right?
No.
His girl Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My girl was Macaulay Culkin.
Meh.
So I also enjoyed when when they were going off to the condo. She said we were going to go to the condo, and it was the murder house in the woods. She's like, "What are you talking about? This is just a murder house in the woods."
Who was the actress who played Jamie or Colette?
Kiernan Shipka.
What else is she from?
Sabrina.
I know that new remake.
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I've never seen that.
And
one,
some
so-
other thing.
Mad Men.
There's a movie.
Was she in? I watched the beginning of Mad. Who was she?
She was the daughter.
Oh, I don't remember the daughter.
Yeah.
I remember January Jones.
She was January Jones's daughter.
Thanks.
And I don't know what else she was in. Those
Okay.
are pretty big things.
I really liked her the way she carried it.
Yeah.
Just herself. She made it a very engaging fish out of water to follow.
I really enjoyed it too. I wonder how it would play for people younger than us who have no memory of the 80s, because the movie itself doesn't go that hard on, like, she notices the difference between when people talk, but let's be honest, we've even seen Monster Squad. People talk a lot worse than they were talking in this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah.
You know, it made me think a little bit because they had a lot of relationships that were like, different races. And I don't remember if that was an 80s thing if like people were okay with that in the 80s, or if there was still that like inherent racism where you don't.
Well, we know we got
Yeah.
rid of it when Obama was elected. There's never been racism again. So I think anything pre-2008 was a disaster for race relations. But since then, all good.
That's what I was told.
Yes.
There was a point too when, Jesus, it's just that where I realized which side I am on when I'm following people in time travel movies. When her dad rolled down the window at the beginning and she was texting her friend to come out, she's like, "Why don't you just knock?" And that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, I see where I am on the scale here."
The movie didn't need it, but do you think it would have been better had she been walking around in a time where people talked the way people talked in the 80s to be more jarring? Because they didn't throw out the gay slurs. They didn't throw out there wasn't the inherent racism. There was light sexism, but it wasn't like as bad as it was.
I don't know. It was pretty bad.
See,
In the movie?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
thought
think it was
the sexism
nearly
was
as bad as
bad.
like just throwing on
No,
any movie from the 80s.
I'm agreeing with Brian on this one. I think this was a very like tame version of what it could have been, and I noticed it when we were watching it. But I'm going to fall back on it. I don't need that.
It got the point.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's meant to be fun.
Yeah,
so
sure.
You
It got
don't
the
need.
point.
Yeah, no, it didn't need it, but I thought the sexism they ran that home pretty well.
See, I watch a lot of 80s horror, especially. Like, this was nothing compared to what it just was.
Yeah, that is tough because I think I'm coming from that, having seen a lot of that too. I have that thought, whereas you haven't seen as much horror. So
Well, having watched more of these movies, there's got to be a slut. It's like obligatory that there's at least one slut. And this one had 3 or 4 slutty girls
Pretty
just
much,
running
yeah.
around.
yeah, they did. I don't know.
And I is that a thing with horror movies? Is there always a slutty girl?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something about the genre.
It's one of the reasons I love it.
Oh. Wish I was surprised.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, boobs. There were no boobs in this movie.
That's another thing. If you're traveling back to 80s horror,
There should be boobs.
there should be. And Pete and I had a discussion about this in the backyard while people were masturbating back there again. And we said,
always are.
since Scream, you haven't needed nudity in horror. Since the internet, especially, you haven't needed nudity in horror because you just go home and watch nudity on the internet.
Right, it's just gone. Like if you watch horror right now, Kitty,
But if
you
you
don't
wanted
see
to-
boobs,
yeah.
right?
I just watched horror like yesterday.
Right. Do you see boobs?
And I watched Scream on Halloween 2022.
Yep, but no boobs.
No boobs.
It's just not something that's done anymore.
No, it's not necessary anymore. But in the 80s, it was why people went to the movies. So it's one of those things, they're not recreating an 80s horror movie. They're just sticking her in the 80s. But since we're watching an 80s horror movie, it's another choice you could have made.
Yeah.
You could have stuck her. I'm making a different movie at this point. Instead of doing the Back to the Future thing, where I'm just taking her and throwing her from a modern day horror movie into an 1880s horror movie and being shocked at the sensibilities.
1880s.
Being shocked at the sensibilities.
Victorian.
So vampires.
I got
Jack the Ripper. Being shocked
And
at
then
the
time traveling to 1987 from back in
yeah,
Victorian
and
age.
being stunned by what's going on in these movies that I'm now a part of. Which actually is a movie called Final Girls, which also doesn't have nudity, but it's the same thing where she's just like, oh, this is very different.
When they were at the house party and there was the pool scene, I was like, is this the boob scene? Because they were in the pool.
Yeah, you got to see her dead.
Yeah, it was the male boobs.
Yeah, right.
There was
the
more
boobs.
male sexualization in this movie than female, I think.
100%.
I don't know. She's walking into the House of Horrors going, just giving a blowjob.
Yeah, but she's
Just
not
an
naked.
Everyday
Yeah, I meant-
blowjob. Oh, you mean the nudity
Yeah.
sexism. Okay.
The person who's sexualized most is her dad, which is hilarious.
That second most is her brother. For
second
that
most
half
is her
second
brother.
he's on
I
screen.
was glad I wasn't the only one that saw that. I saw that. I'm like, they are like Lifetime movie like fogging up the camera. Like she is the hots for this guy immediately.
Yeah.
I thought so.
That is really funny that I missed it.
You missed it,
Yep.
totally.
Totally killer.
Totally.
Linda Vanderclark.
Oh my God.
It was when they started showing what was happening in the, well, not the future, but I guess the present, like that time is
Yes.
still happening.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fun.
I loved that part, which
Like-
I don't see in any time travel movie.
I don't
really.
think I've ever seen
it. Was
it
cool
either.
to see that the effects of it happening when they see a picture of her and realize that's where she is. That's great. You have that. It's easy to do. It costs nothing, and it's really smart and it's really effective. And I've never seen a movie really do that.
You know, the only thing I'm thinking of now is that
Her dad coming out of that pool. You're thinking of your dad coming out of the pool?
Oh.
Now we're
That's
all
what you're thinking
it.
about, apparently.
Now we're all thinking about it. I'm thinking of him just washing up on the shores of Okinawa with his hair billowing in the wind.
Takes off his cowboy hat, shakes his hair.
Yes, and tells you a 20-minute story that goes nowhere.
Well, if you were my mom, you wouldn't mind. No, I'm really. Julie Bowen didn't recognize her daughter. Did they explain that? She didn't recognize her,
No,
even though.
that is a problem that
Wait, where? When?
when
Who?
she comes home that she had seen her in 1987.
Oh,
It's a problem that proliferates these movies because why does Marty's dad have no problem with his son coming out looking exactly like that guy who he thought was sleeping with the girl he loved in the first movie?
Well, I'm going to
And
tell
then
you.
she named him after him.
Yeah, I know, it was weird. But I'm going to tell you how Totally Killer gets away with it.
Yeah.
Jamie says, or Colette says right at the end, fucking time travel. Like, it's just these are the things that happen.
Yeah.
Who knows what fucking time travel?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no perfect way to do it.
But that I think is the best way. That was how I would end it. You don't have to explain it. Just one of them things.
Yep. Yeah. The movie plays it very light, which is probably why the slasher stuff doesn't really work. It works as a whodunit more than a
Yeah.
scary movie.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, she is just trying to stop it. I don't think she really cares who did it. She's
It's a-
just trying to stop it.
She wants to save her mom.
It's a very cool take on the final girl, a final girl who knows everything that's going to happen.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
then it gets away with her. 'Cause-
Then it gets away from it. But like I like that she shows up and she's like, I have all the knowledge I could possibly use. And it just twists the whole tables on
Yeah.
everything because she's in control of everything as much as a person could ever be.
All right, that is cool.
She still fails.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
well,
So
She gets there in the end.
Sorry about your friends. They still died.
no.
Well, and it actually, when you think about it, doesn't even make you feel bad that the friends died because those three girls got someone
Well,
drunk.
they kind of deserved it.
They-
Yeah.
They kinda did.
Now,
They had it coming.
now, when we were in the real time, and
With Bill Maher?
with Bill Maher, and
Start the clock.
her friend was murdered, and that's how the killer got back, the podcaster.
Yep.
Where, in the future, like, that was something. I was like, oh, interesting when we get to the end, because if
No,
time.
her friend wasn't murdered.
Yeah.
She got hit on the head.
Oh, I thought she
Yeah.
was killed.
They didn't,
Then why would she be alive when she came
But
back?
that's why I just thought it was some change in the time travel continuum.
She just saw
No.
fucking time travel.
I think
Yep.
she just got knocked out.
I think that probably makes more
I
sense.
think I'm going to use that for any movie I'm confused about from now on. Just fucking time travel. Not time travel movie. Fucking time travel.
Yeah, that'll explain it.
Like, why is Five Nights at Freddy's so boring? Fucking time travel.
Exactly.
Don't watch Five Nights at Freddy's, everybody. Don't waste your 2 hours.
Apparently, everyone went and saw it already.
I know, it made so much
did
money.
not.
We saw the better one, Kitty. We saw Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, that is a better
I
one.
saw the Banana Splits movie.
I wanted to see
It's
that one,
also
too.
it's also the better one. That's how bad this movie was. So
Well, it's based on what, like a cartoon?
it was in a video game.
Even better.
So if you were to time travel back to 1987, what do you think your moms would be like? Yours would be drunk. What do you think your mom would be like?
Would she be drunk? Yeah.
Oh, it was right. Well, she
Yeah,
was
she
always
would be.
drunk. It was right after the divorce, too.
Yeah.
Fun times for young Pete.
Well, my mom would be.
Maybe I'd go back in time and take me to the zoo or something.
I'm thinking
But
because she
right
would
after
have
my
been.
mom's divorce too.
Yeah. My mom's happily married.
Your mom's,
happily.
your mom's married, yeah.
And she'd have 3 kids already. Well, I guess not because I'd be a time traveler, so she'd have 2 boys, which sounds terrible. That might be why she drinks, or your mom drinks, and
Because your
she'd be a
mom has
nurse
2
still.
boys.
Yeah, she'd just be my mom as she is right now, except not retired.
Yeah.
That kind of thing's true.
So nothing would be different.
No, not
Not
much.
really.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
At least for my mom. Yours, you can project a little bit more because, like, divorced parents and other life stuff going on.
You know what I learned from Monster Squad?
That she's really bad at history.
Yes. But also that
Who is?
I
My
would
mom.
I did learn that from Monster Squad. And it worries me that she keeps
My
teaching
mom,
you.
if I go into 1987, be doing what she always does. She'd be at her Nazi book club. She'd be
Sewing her swastika flag. No. Oh, shit. You made me lose my thought. I thought about your racist mother.
I hate those because we never get them back.
No. There's such fleeting little comments.
What you
that
learned
across
from the Monster
landscape.
Squad commentary.
Oh, I would have fit right back into 1980, whatever year, as soon as I went back based on the clothing that I learned
yes,
from.
that's true.
Yeah, I think
Horace.
we said that when we watched Monster Squad.
Right, I'm
this
ready
is
to
a new
go.
fact for you again.
No, but I could fit right back in, just thinking about it now. It wouldn't be weird. I wouldn't have to borrow clothes from anybody. It's like, oh, yeah, look at him here from 1987.
And Dracula punches people in the face and uses dynamite. Those are the 2
Yeah.
things I learned from the Monster Squad.
And Wolfman has nards.
I've learned 3 things.
It's a lot of learning. My
That's
head
right.
hurts.
And I learned
Lay
that
down.
she's not a version.
Did you see the Kindle part? Did you rewatch?
I have not rewatched the movie since.
Oh, okay.
We watched it again, and I missed it.
I've watched it twice with the commentary on, and both times I hear it, and I'm like, fuck, I just missed it again. But I can't rewind both. So it traps me every time into just being stuck.
You should mark down the timestamp if you do
I
that
should
again.
do that.
And then the time after,
I
if
should
you
do that.
remember.
Time
you'll have
after
it.
time. Good enough.
That was the Victorians.
Okay.
Oh, fuck, now you made me lose my thought.
Welcome to the club. It's terrible here.
My
Don't
head's
recommend
empty.
it.
I have no thoughts.
Are you part of the Mollies?
Yeah.
Is that what you've got going on?
No, they had lots of thought. They were just all mean. Oh, except for the really stupid girl who died last. She was so dumb. Blowjob girl. She was really dumb.
She was dumb, but she had some qualities about her that I really respected.
I liked her a lot.
I really thought it
Not
was
for
fun.
the blowjobs.
What? What's happening?
She had another purpose?
I'll be in the backyard.
How excited she got when she was afraid. She was terrified to be the bait. She didn't want to be the bait. It's like, just pretend you're in there to give someone a blowjob. Just her face lit up. Just one of those little background things. Like, ooh, it's like, I can do that.
And she said, what if, what the dad said, what if she presses the rape whistle after she's being stabbed or whatever? And that's exactly what happens. Her throat gets slit and then she pushes the rape
Was she the one who had the line earlier where she talked about doing that in there? And he said, but it's a house of horror, so I figure if you see something you don't
I
like,
think that was
that's
her.
on
that's
you.
a perfect line. That's a perfect line. Yeah. So what she learned was the 80s were very sexual and people didn't care about each other very much at all. And there was no safety guidelines on anything.
No. And no restrictions.
That feels right.
I kind of remember that way. I remember riding in the back of pickup trucks, like open bed, sitting.
Yeah.
I'd probably call the cops if I saw somebody on the expressway with children in the back of the truck.
I doubt you were on the expressway riding in an open back. Your parents are dumb.
Well, we are from Ohio.
Yes.
That's true. I always forget you're an Ohioan.
Yeah.
Ohio is basically the South.
Well, the southern part is,
southern
but not the
part's
northern
crazy.
part. I'm a Cleveland baby, Sandusky. We had it's the Lake Erie connection.
Cleveland and Sandusky are not the same thing. Cleveland is a metropolis, even if it's a small one. Sandusky is dirt farmers and an amusement park.
Not true, because I was born on a swamp, so thank you very much.
Okay, dirt farmers, swamp area, and amusement park.
Yeah, we're the bog people. We're not the farmers.
Sandusky is where I saw those giant bugs that once a year come out.
Cicadas?
No,
Them?
They were this big and as big as a giant cock is what I'm showing because I can't show it. This is about 4 inches.
That's 2 inches.
A giant one.
See, and I thought you were going to wrap that by saying cockroach.
They were this big and they stuck to everything. And I was trying to get gas and they were like on the gas and they don't move. They all came out of the lake. I was like,
The lake.
yeah, it was the
So
craziest
hot.
thing I've ever seen.
This sounds like a horror movie.
They told
Was
me it
this the
happens about
mist?
once a year, and I was driving home, and the cars just caked and hitting these bugs because they're not doing anything. They're just like falling.
You know what? I vaguely remember that, and then I remember moving to New York and being confused that it just didn't happen. And then after a couple of years, I just thought that just didn't happen anymore. Like when the bugs just live everywhere
It
and
happened.
coat
You couldn't.
everything.
I had to get gas,
What
and they're
were
attached to
those?
everything, and I'm stepping on them, and they just don't care. They don't have a life to do. This is where they just live now.
It's not
Yet
mayflies.
another reason not
That's
to
what I
live in
wanted to say too.
Sandusky.
June bugs, maybe.
Maybe
It had a month in the name because it did.
the October ants.
It
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
The December caterpillar. It's really mouthy. Unfortunately, the first girl in the movie wasn't because she might have lived had she been.
Yeah, that's not the lesson that we were meant to take away.
That's the lesson I
Yeah.
took from it.
I know, that is the lesson you all learned.
Anybody have anything else to say about Totally Killer?
I feel like we should have talked about it more.
Nobody seems to have anything to say about the movie.
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Well, it's just because there were so many little spots that were like solid gold. I feel like we can't go through all of them.
No, I'd recommend watching it because if you like Back to the Future, this is a very fun Back to the Future take.
And the thing, I just don't want to repeat lines because that's what I'm doing right now. I realize I'm just saying the parts that I laughed at because I thought it was fun.
Oh, I only had one jump scare.
There was a scare.
Yeah, I don't remember where it was.
I
Though.
can't remember where it was.
But something popped out and got
Something
you.
popped out, and I was like, ah!
Was it the initial one with Julie Bowen?
No.
Future Julie Bowen? No, and he appears behind her from the back door.
Where was Phil?
I'm not
He
going to
was
lie.
at that concert. Phil was the dad, right?
No, Phil was the dead in Modern Family.
Phil Dunphy. That's what I was thinking too, because Julie Bowen
Yes.
was on that show forever.
She was also in Happy Gilmore.
She was. I remember that. Mm-hmm. She was also.
She was hot then. Now she's too skinny.
That happened.
Take that, Julie Bowen.
Gain some weight.
Eat a hamburger.
I just saw a picture of Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. That's her husband, right?
Yeah.
They both look sickly.
Oh no.
They're so skinny. I'm like,
Not
you
Freddie
guys
Prinze.
need to gain like 5 pounds.
That's it.
Sickly,
20.
sickly, she called
I
them.
can,
Yeah,
I can gain
they
that
look-
by the end of this podcast if I wanted to.
You're not even eating anything.
This remote's probably about 1 pound.
Remember, non-toxic means edible.
Non-toxic.
Non-toxic.
So,
All right.
Pete, you liked it? It was fun.
Yep.
It's a standard Pete review. How many bananas?
Gonna give this one the old bunch.
Ooh, a bunch of bananas. I thought
Really?
you'd like it. I thought he'd like it.
It was. I'll give it a bunch.
I respect how much thought they put into it.
Because it didn't have to be sad, and any inconsistencies, they gave it the old, fucking time travel, just a little blanket statement, make all your worries go away.
I knew we were in a good spot with the movie when she went back to the mother, and the mother wasn't not surprised to see her because she tried inventing time travel. And I thought, this movie's going to get it.
Yep, it did.
And it's not going to waste. It didn't waste any time. The first 20 minutes is like a little mini movie where they give you so much information, but all of it's useful.
Because everything in there was a payback.
It's a Wonderful Knife does a similar thing where the first 20 minutes is like a miniature horror movie with a beginning, middle, and end. You introduce the characters, there's chase scenes and surprising deaths, and you get to see the killer revealed. Because when she goes and wishes that she'd never been born, like in A Wonderful Life, everything's going to reset. So they had to show you everything. So you already know who it is. So she already knows who it is. So when she's back in the life where she doesn't exist, same kind of thing. Like there's a slasher movie going on. She's ahead of the game, but she has no help. Nobody believes her. Nobody knows who she is. And it's good too. Like these movies keep hitting.
Oh, I know what we should do. Where were the break points in the movie, Pete?
Oh,
Well, the first one is so easy.
No shit.
the first one is clearly where she sees her hot dad coming out of the pool.
And the second one's when he fucked her.
But then the second one is when she sees her hot brother. And then I'm really worried what the third one's going to be because I don't think it's over yet.
Yeah. Well, the first one is obviously when she time travels back. The second
Yeah.
one's harder to land.
Maybe when they... No. Yeah, it's harder to figure
I'm
out.
gonna guess it's probably when the mother and her are in the basement and they connect.
Maybe, yeah.
That's probably what it is. Because the second act will be all her trying to save people and failing. So after that's over and the mother's finally like completely on her side.
I think the mother, no, because the mother was on her side when they were at the cottage, and then she forgot again, apparently.
Because she
Yeah.
got so high.
She got so high.
Right. She's like, oh, yeah.
Even though weed's terrible in the 1980s.
Yeah.
That was what I took away from that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I really liked, what was her name? Kara? The son or the daughter of,
Cara Jarrell?
no,
Supergirl?
no, shit, words. Randall Park's daughter.
Oh, yeah. The new
I
sheriff.
really liked her.
They call your daughter the sheriff? That's so cute.
For me, the whole movie is how good Kiernan Shipka is walking around and just being like,
A slightly disdaining future girl.
and trying to subtly improve people's points of views on everything.
She was.
It's like, why don't we not call her fat? Whatever. Oh, just call her by her name. Yeah, that's the reason that I think that if they had gone farther with it, it could have worked because her reactions to it are pretty great.
Yeah, well, I felt like there were just enough of them.
Yeah, I know that's not the point of the movie. So
Yeah.
But it worked in all the innovative things that were going on with the future being still going, and you're having a story in the future along with the past. And the fun of the two killers and the killer being a different killer. That was a twist I did not see coming.
what a twist.
What a twist. Worthy of M. Night himself is what I thought when I saw it happen just now.
If they put it in the trailer, it would have been a perfect one.
I never watched the trailer.
No, if they would have put the twist in the trailer, it would have been just like the last M. Night
Which one
Shyamalan
did
movie.
they do that?
I'm not going to tell her what it is. I'm just saying,
All
don't
right.
watch the trailer to that movie.
Yeah. We're going to do, oh, God damn it, the one where Drax the Destroyer knocks at a cabin's door.
That's the official name of the movie. M. Night Shyamalan's When Drax the Destroyer Knocks at the Cabin's Door.
Yeah, that's what I got
Oh, that
now.
one.
Yeah, don't
I
watch
think it's called The Cabin.
Nope, nobody's ever going to get this right.
Cabin in the Woods.
It's just
no,
called
there's that one.
Knock at the Cabin.
Tuck Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Tucker and Dale knock at the cabin.
And inside is Drax the Destroyer.
And inside Drax the Destroyer from M. Night Shyamalan. Drax the Destroyer knocks at the cabin's door.
You got it.
We got your friend.
Don't watch the trailer for that one, Kitty.
I'm going to go find it.
You can watch the first trailer. Don't watch the second trailer. The first trailer was really good and made me want to see the movie. Second trailer, I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then I saw the movie and I was like, they did. They just fucking spoiled the entire point of this movie.
I didn't know that, but that's exactly what happened. All right.
You watched that movie.
I did.
But you forgot the name
We
of
went to the theater. You haven't gone to the theater with me in quite some time.
No, I almost decided to go see Five Nights at Freddy's with you, but I am glad
I didn't go.
Right.
It was
I'm
on
glad
Peacock.
that you didn't go.
Boy, am I glad I didn't go too.
Well, what's upcoming that you guys can go for?
Well, Halloween season's over, so that's going to be tough.
It is the end of Halloween season. Hey, Kitty, did you see any costumes while we were out trick-or-treating, like that the kids were wearing these days?
Yes, tell us what the kids were wearing.
Naruto
That's
is a thing now.
That's kind of what I saw. A bunch of the anime stuff.
Yeah, a
the
bunch
manga.
of anime.
I don't know what you guys are making up words.
I swear that's what the kids are wearing.
I'm 44 and I don't have kids. So sometimes you're going to say things that are just completely foreign to me. Things that make sense to you because you see them in your life that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, luckily, you're not the only one listening.
Isn't there like a
Naruto.
One Punch Hero guy on
Yeah, I
Netflix?
want to see that. There's One Punch
Nope,
Hero, the
still giving me the look.
anime, and then the live action movie. And I heard the live action's
I
pretty
saw
good.
Dragon Ball when it was on when I was in college, and I was high a lot.
Yeah, well, you would have had to be. All they do is power up,
Yeah,
fight, and that's it.
That's about the speed you need.
It's a half hour of them
Gohan,
going.
is that a guy?
Ah! Who?
Gohan, is that a guy?
Gojin?
Goku.
Gojin? I don't
Goku
know.
sounds right.
Is there a Gohan
And,
too?
and
There
who's
might
the
be.
guy that Spike played in the live action movie? Piccolo.
This is
That's a musical instrument. Don't pull that nonsense on me.
Anyway, I know too much about this
So,
stuff.
that was...
so. What's coming out the rest of this year? I don't think there's. It's a Wonderful Knife, but I've already seen it. Dream Scenario, but I don't know. There's no. It's not really even horror. It's horror adjacent.
Oh, the one with
Nicolas
Nicolas
Cage.
Cage.
It's
But
just
I
getting
thought you
listed
said
as horror.
everything can be horror.
Everything kind of can be. It doesn't have any showings listed around here, which is disappointing. But I would go see that. But I don't think that there's really. There's one thing left. Oh, Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think
Yeah,
the
she keeps sending me
Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving things for some reason.
The horror movie about Thanksgiving?
Well,
Yeah.
because I think, I
Eli
don't know.
Roth's slasher movie
Oh,
instead of
yeah,
Thanksgiving
that's
because there's
right.
no good Thanksgiving
Yes,
horror movies.
that's why I was
I don't
sending
know that
it
we
to
need
you.
one.
Blood Rage. It's the one. Like, I
don't know
keep
that
saying it.
one.
There's one. It's called Blood Rage. It's terrible, and I love it.
Well, I sent you a whole list.
That might have been 86, 87, 88 in there too.
1888?
Oh, I didn't read the list. I saw the one thing. I was like, I thought it was just about the Thanksgiving movie.
No, it's about, there's a collection of
There's one thing you
Thanksgiving
need to
movies
know
you can watch that are horror.
That Pete knows. I
You
don't know how to read.
I know.
I'm always pretending to read.
I think I also posted it to your Facebook page for the
A page I've never gone to except to clear out friend requests, and it posts
not
automatically
your
from
personal one, the one for Scare Value. Yeah.
But I post things on Scare Value from the site. I can click it and go right to the
Yeah.
site. So the only time I'm on the site is to clear out friend requests and invites and just
Well.
clear them out once a day and move on with my life. And I never looked at that page ever. I mean, come on in. We'll interact with you.
I'm on the Facebooks.
Yeah, you guys looked at the Facebook. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, it's mostly just your postings for each of your
I have to put up
reviews.
on 8 different social media sites this shit. So like, I don't spend too much time on any one of them.
So fans, just know it's not worth your time.
No, it is. That's where you can find easy links to everything. And if you send a message, I'll see it, theoretically.
Yeah.
That's true. I won't. I don't really check any of the social medias.
No, I don't give you the logins because you've already told me that you gave your 11-year-old, 10-year-old daughter your PIN numbers.
Well, again, I'm not going to be the one
She likes to
ordering
push
things.
the buttons.
Yeah. She knows how to buy things on that.
I know, and I told you, I get really tired of her coming up and asking me to do it for her all the time. So I just gave her the PIN number.
Seems like a
No, Sam
dangerous
did
idea.
buy some things.
Yeah.
Got in
But it was on
trouble
my
for
mom's
that.
account, so who cares?
I think we paid her back.
Shh.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They'll spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it was nearly $100.
Again,
Jeez.
my mom's account.
I know. I understand how little you care for your mother, but
She wasn't happy.
Is she ever?
Yeah.
just tell her it's part of her creeping dimension. It never really happened.
It'll probably work.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the Anomaly Film Festival, which is going to take a bit.
That is the film festival that's in Rochester upcoming.
Yes, starting the day this podcast comes out.
Ooh,
Are you going?
Yes.
we've got a real
When?
plug.
It's not a plug. It's upcoming content for the website.
No, but people might go there now that you're saying it.
To find you.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe
They're
so.
not going to check your
This will come out
social
the day it
media.
comes out.
I'm going to get you
They're like,
scare value shirts
He
made.
doesn't ever look at that Facebook. I'm going to go in person. He told me he's going to be at the Anomaly Film
I should
Festival.
post a picture that Fred took of him or something on the scare value so you know what he looks like.
We'll do a recap of the movies I saw there, like we did for the Buffalo Dreams Fantastic Film Festival, where we learned that Fang doesn't know what warehouse work is like.
Oh, right.
But I like that movie. I think there's 8 movies here that I'm going to see, which is a lot of movies to cover.
Are you going to like stay in a hotel?
Is it like a week-long festival?
Yeah, but it's an hour-long drive there and back. Who cares? It takes me 40 minutes. Just take me 45 minutes to get to work and back all the time. So
Okay.
that doesn't matter. Wednesday, there's a movie called River, which is a time-twisting comedy from Japan. So I'm excited about that one. They all seem weird, which is great. I think this is the one where everything resets every 2 minutes. Everyone's caught in a Groundhog Day for 2 minutes, but everybody knows it.
Thank God. I liked Memento, but I was like, I need quicker increments of time when things reset.
86 minutes long, so Pete'll like that.
No.
Japanese with English subtitles. That's tougher. Light Blood and Suicide. Content warnings. So that's,
I thought that was the name of a movie.
no. The Sacrifice Game is also on Wednesday. And that is a 1971 slasher movie, it looks like. That
They're
sounds
just
weird.
releasing old ones?
No, it's set in
Oh,
1971.
okay.
Oh, okay.
99 minutes long. Too long for Pete. Violence, blood, gore, self-harm, and bullying. Self-harm seems to be a big thing lately. Then Thursday, I'm not going because it's only one movie to drive in from 1973 or something. A martial arts movie, so take that day off.
Wait, does it take place in 1973?
It was made in 1973.
Okay, yeah.
And then we have another time travel-y one. This is perfect for this podcast. Loop Track on Friday, which is New Zealand hitchhikers caught
You
in
really
a time
can't
loop.
read.
Yeah, New Zealand hitchhikers caught in time with gore, blood, death, and violence. Sounds like it's my alley. 94 minutes.
Ooh,
Gets
they're
a
getting
pass.
closer.
Gets a fan.
Yep.
Then we have Molly and Max in the Future, which is a sci-fi rom-com that spans galaxies and time.
A lot of time travel coming up.
Yeah, it seems to be the new
Content
thing.
warnings: tentacles.
Oh,
Yep,
that's an anime reference.
that's hentai.
And a porn one. Oh, yes, hentai.
And then on
Sorry.
Saturday, we're going to go, I say we, I mean me. I'm going to go to see, I got to fast forward, Red Rooms at 2 o'clock, which is a Russian movie? Nope, French-Canadian. Yeah.
Let's look at the little disinterest that just flies up to us. What are you gonna do?
1 hour and 58 minutes
Oh, that's going to be your least favorite.
in French.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, that's it for Saturday, too. I might skip that one. There's other movies, but they're not sight.
Maybe try another movie that's just shorter. It's under 90 minutes.
Sunday, we have Tiger Stripes at 10:30 in the morning. Popcorn's going to be good that day. That's from Germany, Taiwan, France, and Malaysia. 95 minutes.
Ooh. That's kind of right there.
Content warnings. Puberty.
Ugh.
Period vomit. Urination, child abuse, both verbal and physical. Body horror, gore, bullying, and hazing.
I have a question.
I don't have I didn't make the movie.
I know, but what is period vomit?
Kitty,
Kitty, when
Was there supposed
when
to be a
girls
comma?
reach a certain age.
they start to get hair. And
No, it just says period vomit.
Like, so there. I'm hoping that's like just an oversight grammatically.
I'm not going to
Unless
imagine.
somebody like periods on you.
It says
in your
period
mouth.
vomit.
What,
Let me know about that one.
What other way can I understand it than it is period vomit? Then we have Sleep from South Korea, so that's probably going to be really good because South Korean horror is the best. 94 minutes.
I like these 90s.
Blood, sleep disorder. How is that a content warning?
I have insomnia.
Self-harm, animal death. Violence, body horror, puke, child endangerment. Some of my favorite things. They're at the end. Some of my porn searches popped into that one. You can guess which ones they are.
Yeah.
Again, that list was blood, sleep disorder, self-harm, animal death, violence, body horror, puke, and child endangerment. There's at least three keywords I have on that one. And then finally, stop motion, also on Sunday. Strobing lights, dead animal, body horror, gore, wet meat puppets, gross sound design.
Okay.
So those reviews
I
will all be
can't-
up on the site in the next few weeks.
I can't watch that movie because of the strobing lights, but I want to see the meat puppets.
I want to see the wet meat
Wet
meat
meat
puppets perform live somewhere because
That's a great band name.
They sound like
is.
a really cool band that I want to see.
It's actually a good movie name.
So we're going to go. I'm going to go. Pete said he might go, but he's not going. I'm going to go on 4 of those days and see 7 or 8 of those movies. I really lost count. And then we'll have those up on the site the week after. So starting the 13th through the next week, there'll be 8 reviews of movies you won't be able to see anywhere for a while. So they're always fun to write.
Well,
None of
what
the
are you
movies
doing-
from Buffalo
So-
Trace Film Festival are out yet. So like they're all just still sitting there on
That's
the site.
why you're special and they're not.
But you can come.
I didn't say I was special.
You can come on
how
Wednesday.
How far away did you say this place is?
It's an hour. It's Rochester. It's all through.
An
it.
hour. What am I supposed to do for an hour?
Listen to podcast.
Listen to podcasts. Not this one. Kitty tried to put it on once when I was driving. I almost drove the car off the road.
The kids loved it.
Yeah.
It was the Monster Squad.
They thought it was
Watch
like a
Ro-
roller coaster as I was bouncing down the hill off
Not
the
that
road.
part, and you didn't.
Trying to find a
But
tree
I
to
was
ram
trying
into.
to entertain the kids because they wouldn't stop fighting. And Pete was really mad that I put the podcast on.
Again.
But it
the-
stopped them from fighting.
Well, the tree that I finally found in the middle of the field and ran into at 80 miles an hour stopped them from fighting.
So they'll listen to you on tape, but not in person.
We gotta redo some of these podcasts. And I'm just gonna be like, all right, kids, it's time to go clean your room. Kids, it's bedtime. Please stop shouting. Children, brush your teeth. Eat your dinner. Please get your dishes away. Please put your dishes away.
Do you
Sweep
think
the floor.
I know there were different
think
movies,
that'll work.
but do you think someone period vomited on the meat puppets and that's why they're wet?
That's where babies come from.
Meat puppets.
Well, getting period vomit on the wet meat puppets. And then 9 months later, a baby.
So there's uterus sheddings all over a wet meat puppet.
The moon blood.
The moon blood.
I don't think Pete would like any of these movies. There's only one of them is under 90 minutes.
Good Lord.
I was gonna say you could probably go on Sunday.
That's where you get
Not
to see.
this Sunday, but because that's next Sunday, right?
Yes. That's where you get to see period vomit
And wet meat puppets.
and wet meat puppets. And it's a triple feature. And sleep disorder, child endangerment.
Is this, you're cute. Is this the theater that Paul Rubens got caught at? Is that what we're going to?
R.I.P. Rest in peace, Paul
power.
Rubens. Rest in Pete's backyard, masturbating away.
I actually, I actually want you to go see the wet meat puppets. So maybe you should go,
I want a wet meat puppet T-shirt because people will just believe that's a band.
or a movie.
I think that if I was going to suggest you go to one, it would be.
Wet meat puppets.
That's not the name of the movie, though.
It is now.
Stop Motion is the name of the movie. It would,
Stop Motion Sense. It's a David Byrne song.
Oh, that was bad.
Stop Motion Sense. It was bad. I loved it. I think the one you'd like the most is probably Loop Track, but that's just Friday at 5. That's not going to work for anybody.
It might.
Yeah.
Right.
Not this Friday.
No.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Friday in our world. But,
Yeah.
Oh no, the kids have off that day.
well,
Okay.
were they going to be somewhere at 5, at school at 5 anyway?
Well, no, if they're off all day and I'm trying to work, that doesn't really.
It's at 5 o'clock.
Oh yeah, right. Time. That's a
Time.
fucking
I'm
time
Jamie
travel.
from Canada.
Fucking time
Fucking time
travel.
travel. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Bye bye.
And we'll see you next week for who knows what. Possibly
This.
Near Dark.
Maybe?
Might be Near Dark with Ken, our Taiwanese friend.
Foreign correspondent.
Taiwanese friend
Your
from
foreign
Buffalo.
correspondent.
It's our Taiwanese friend from Buffalo.
And maybe it'll be that. Maybe it'll be, God forbid, we ever sit down and do Night Watch.
Someday.
I saw her in the hallway.
Waiting 27
Not
years
yet.
for this.
Not yet, Ewan.
And I know in December we're going to have an Exorcist episode. And we're definitely going to have the Scare Value Awards. And I think there's another
And
thing
then
we
when
already
they
had
do
planned.
the one I forget the name of with
The Christmas episode.
The Christmas-
yeah, the
we'll have a-
Christmas
where we
episode.
all have
Yeah.
to pick a Christmas
Our
We're going to do a
favorite
secret
Christmas
Santa
movie.
Christmas episode where we all pick a movie for each others to watch. And that'll be a
You
disaster.
guys have seen my movie already.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah,
It
that's
doesn't
fine.
matter.
And I'm going to pick something horrible.
I'm going to pick like Driving Miss Daisy.
That's
It
fine.
has to be Christmas themed. I
What?
want to lay down ground rules.
I'm going to pick something horrible.
I'm going to pick my nose.
I'm going to find the worst one I could find. And I'm going to
gotta
find
be Christmas
I'm going to find things with child endangerment and period vomit. And yeah, we also have a watch along for Scream 2022 coming up eventually, but who knows when that'll slip in there. That's what she said.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
all
think
saw
I
it.
was there.
She's not on the commentary though.
Yeah, no.
She was working away. Okay, so
Okay.
fucking time travel.
Fucking time travel.